Mike here, head trader at True Trading Group. April 16th is all about the tier trading strategy. Today is tier trading at its best. I'm going to go into my trades here, guys. One big win on JMIA, two small losses on RNN and RWLK. And the reason for that this entire day is the tier trading strategy. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the tier trading strategy and what it means, I trade in tiers. Okay, I teach a tier method to all of our members. I learned to trade in tiers when I worked at the hedge fund because it's very difficult to enter and exit large positions in one trade. Okay, you have to scale your way in and scale your way out of positions when you're dealing with very large positions. It's something that I learned when I used to work at the hedge fund, and I've just made little tweaks to it so that it relates to my individual trading, and it has worked out extremely well over the last several years. I've been doing this now for 14 years, and it's how I trade, and it's how I teach all of our members. So the whole premise behind tier trading, guys, is I enter when the setup calls for it. I enter tier 1, which is 25% of my desired position size. Then when whatever I thought, the reason why I entered tier 1 is because I think I see something, right? So when you get confirmation that what you thought you saw is right, that's when you add to tier 2. Tier 2 is going to be at least 50% of your position, so at least double your tier 1. And then tier 3 will be a maxed out additional 25%, or you can just increase your tier 2 so that it's more than double. So for example, if let's say you wanted to enter 1,000 shares, that was your desired size. Tier 1 would be 250 shares. Tier 2 can be anywhere from 500 to 750. Or you can do 500 tier 2 and then another 250 for tier 3, depending on if you want to tier into that last tier, if you want to take it all at once, depending on the trade, depending on the setup. And then I scale out of my positions as well. So when I'm in a winning trade, my first take profit, I sell 25% of my position. My second take profit, I sell 50% of my position. And my third and final take profit, I sell 25% of my position. This strategy does two things for you. It is designed specifically to help keep your losing trades small, because the idea is that when you're wrong, you'll be wrong in 25% of your position size. And it keeps you in winning trades longer, because as the trade works in your favor, you're not exiting all at once and the stock continues higher. You're exiting in pieces. Okay, and that's how you stay in the winning trade longer. So it's designed for those two things specifically. Keep your losses small, stay in winning trades longer. That is the whole premise behind the tier trading strategy, and it is what today is all about, because my first two trades of the day were for losers, but they were for losers on tier 1 positions. Then I come back in a full size one trade on JMIA, makes back well more than what was lost on those first two trades, and then some was a really good trade on a full position size. Okay, so I don't do this usually, guys, on YouTube, because it is not meant I have this channel on YouTube strictly for really educational purposes. You guys never see me push any package or subscription or marketing or any kind of nonsense. This channel is strictly educational. I always cover technical and mental lessons in these videos, but today was TGG Tuesday. I opened the chat room free for everybody. We had a lot of people in chat today from the YouTube community, and I want to make sure that you guys are aware of the offer that we give to all of our TGG Tuesday guests. So before I get into the trade recap, I just want to share the offer that I give to everybody with you guys, because it is specifically related to this tier trading strategy, and I think it's so important that you guys learn and understand this strategy. And I'm going to get into it with you in a minute, but the courses that are available on the TGG website are courses that I wrote myself, and one of the chapters that is in the advanced course section is all about the tier trading strategy and the tier trading method. It has its entire own section in the course bundle. And something that we do for the TGG Tuesday guest is that we give them the advanced course bundle for free when they join us with a year subscription. So if you guys are interested, there's no link or anything like that. Just send me a comment. Okay, let me know that you're interested in signing up for it. What the offer is that we give everybody is a year subscription. You get 25% off the regular yearly subscription price. And in addition to that, you get the beginner course bundle and the advanced course bundle absolutely free. And the tier trading method strategy is one of the sections of the advanced course bundle. So if anybody as part of the YouTube community is interested in that, I'm going to extend the offer. We usually just do it for the Teachy Tuesday guests. I'm going to extend the offer to you guys if you're interested, because it was such a topic in chat for us today, and so many people were taking advantage of that offer that we give to all the people that come to join us. Just our way of saying thanks for coming to join us. I want to just extend it to you. So no link or anything like that. If you're interested, just send me a comment in right below. I'll respond to you if you guys want to know more about that offer where you can get a year subscription to TGG. You get 25% off that, and you get access to both beginner and advanced course bundles for free with that. So let me know. Now let's get into the trades. Okay, first trade of the day was RNN. Okay, to start off RNN, we've got to get to the daily chart. Okay, and the daily chart here, guys, we have this resistance level you see here at $8. Okay, here is this resistance level at $8 you see back here from the end of January. So we were gapping above this level here today on RNN. So what I said to myself pre-market, the game plan was watch for a pullback down to $8, see if $8 holds support. Okay, so you can see we gapped up and we immediately pulled in, and we started to hold support here at $8. So I went ahead and I entered a tier 1 position long, okay, RNN right here. I'll take it to my trade announcements. Okay, here you guys can see long a tier 1 at 830 with a stop loss at the low of the day, and I'm going to add tier 2 through 850. Now, the reason why I'm entering tier 1 here, guys, is because I think $8 is holding support. The trigger on this trade, okay, would be a move through VWAP, because you can see right here VWAP was showing its face that it was an area of resistance. If RNN did this, this would be confirmation that $8 did in fact hold support. In that case, I would have added to a full tier 2 position size, and my first take profit would have been the high of the day. There would have been the first take profit, and then you hold on to the bulk of the position and you look for a new high of the day break, and that will be your next take profit. Okay, but that's not what happened. So I think I see 8 holding support. A breakthrough VWAP would confirm that, but instead we pull back down, we break down below the day, and I get stopped out of my tier 1 position. Here we are, okay, sold out tier 1 at 775. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm right on the day, but only in a tier 1 position size. 25% of my desired size. This is the goal of tier trading, so that when you're wrong, you want to be wrong in only 25% of your position size. When you think you see something, you're in tier 1. When you get confirmation that what you thought you saw is correct, you add tier 2. Okay, that's the premise. Now, I also like to do tier 1s when there is a very clear area that I can add tier 2. If I'm looking at it, because again, it'll depend on the setup. But if you are in a setup and you're looking at a setup where you can say to yourself, if this happens, if the stock breaks through this level, it confirms the move, it confirms the pattern, then in that case, you can enter a tier 1 in front of whatever support level you're looking at, and then add tier 2 on whatever the break point is. In this case, it would have been through VWAP, would have confirmed this pattern, a double bottom gap up type pattern, and that's when I would have entered a full tier 2 position size. Okay, but did not happen, rolled over, and I exit the tier 1 position, take a small loss, and I keep it moving. Next trade of the day, RWLK. Okay, this was another one that was on the watch list. Recent reverse split. We had the gap up. We pulled it back in. Okay, similar concept as in the fact that we're looking for a potential double bottom gap up pattern. You see the low of the day lines up with the 38.2 Fibonacci level, and then we came in and we tested that low of the day, and the trade line came into play as well. Okay, trade lines at 9 EMA. So now we've got the initial morning low, the 38.2 fib line, and the trade line all converging on that low. I went ahead and I got long a tier 1 position. Back to my trade announcements. Here you guys can see long tier 1 at 419, stop loss 405 area. I'm going to add tier 2 through 433. 433 at the time was VWAP right here. So again, I'm long tier 1 because I think I see a double bottom gap up. A move through VWAP like this would confirm the double bottom gap up. I would add to the position here and look to take profits off in front of the high of the day. That is not what happened. We rolled it over, broke the low of the day, and I exited my tier 1 position at 406. So now I'm 0 for 2 to start the day. Okay? You're like, Mike, that's so terrible. You suck. But I'm not getting hurt, guys. Okay? My P&L is not getting crushed because I'm not losing on a full-size position. When I think I see something, I test the waters. I'm entering tier 1. When I get confirmation that what I think I see is correct, that is when you add to a full-size position. Okay? I did not get that on either one of these plays, so I take my tier 1 loss and I keep it moving. This keeps you in the game. So I'm 0 for 2, but I'm not hurt. Okay? I'm not hurt. And that allowed me to catch a monster trade in JMIA. This stock is unbelievable. Okay? After the ridiculous move this stock had yesterday from 26 up to 40, it had more juice left in it today, and as I make this video after the close, it's almost 5:30 and we're trading new highs 46.40. Okay, guys, this thing just IPO'd at $19 3 days ago. Okay, we are now at 46. Huge move. Tons of momentum, great liquidity, excellent range. Was a great trade. This was on the watch list from this morning and was part of the pre-market game plan. The game plan pre-market that we went over in chat was look to see if you get a little pullback in JMIA, was gapping up today. Look for a little pullback off the bell. And then I think it has a chance to test $40. Okay. The game plan was to look for a test of $40. And eventually I thought maybe we double top at $40 and the stock rolls it back over. Okay. That was the initial game plan. So as I zoom in here, JMIA, you guys can see early in the morning, resistance at VWAP. There's your resistance level, this orange line. You can see denied, denied, sell-off. Now, as we fast forward, we come up over here. You see we get a trade line VWAP crossover happens right there. Okay? The yellow line's the trade line, orange line's VWAP. It crosses up and over VWAP, and you get this big explosive move. Okay? Now, when you look for a trade line and VWAP crossover, that is one of the it's actually covered in the advanced course. The trade line VWAP crossover is actually a pattern that's covered in the advanced course also. So what I talked about earlier, if you guys are interested in getting the advanced course for free, like I said, give me a comment below. Just let me know. I'll respond to you about that. But this is something that's covered in the advanced courses too. So when you get the trade line VWAP crossover, you want to see two things happen. You want to see an increase in volume, and you want to see a drastic change in share price. You want the stock to show you that trade line VWAP crossover meant something. It's showing you that it was a catalyst. It was a trigger for the pattern that you're looking at. Okay, that's exactly what happened in JMIA. You got a nice increase in volume when you had the crossover, and you had a huge pop in share price. Look at how the stock opened up. Look at how the size of these candles, this big explosive move. And it took us right through the high of the day. There was your initial high right there. So we got a trade line VWAP cross, increase in volume, huge move. Great. Now I'm looking to get long in this stock, guys, because this is part of the watch list. Okay, this was part of the game plan. And everything that I'm looking at, this was a grade A setup. Not only was it on the game plan, so I'm already confident in the trade. Okay, because my game plan is coming to fruition at this moment. But all of the things that you look for on that trade line VWAP crossover is happening. The volume, the crossover, the breakthrough highs, the big jump in share price, letting me know that this is significant. Now, when you get a trade line VWAP crossover, you look for the trade line to start to act as an area of support. Why is that important? because when we broke through the high of the day, we pulled in, we started to hold support at the previous high, which also lined up with the 23.6 Fibonacci level. Okay, I went ahead and I got long right there, JMIA. But at this time, I'm long a full position size. I am not in a tier 1. Why? I had a lot of people ask me, well, Mike, why did you enter a full position on JMIA and not a tier 1? The reasons are for what I just talked about with the trade line VWAP crossover, because everything that I want to see out of a trade line VWAP cross to let me know that it is a breakout triggering catalyst is here. It's a grade A setup. We just broke through the high of the day, increase in volume, lines up with 23.6. We pulled in, we tested the previous high. It's holding support. This was part of my pre-market game plan. It was on my watch list. I'm confident in the move to begin with. Okay? That is why I'm entering a full-size position right there. My stop loss is right there. Because what did we just say? The trade line should act as an area of support after a trade line VWAP cross that happens like this. And it also lines up at the moment with the 38.2 Fibonacci level. So I've got two support levels right there around 35.50. So as I take you to my trade announcements, you guys will see at 10:54, I'm long JMIA at 36.40 with a stop loss at 35.40 area, which is just below the trade line, just below that 38.6 fib. I mean, that 38.2 Fibonacci. Okay, so I'm risking $1 a share, but now I'm in a full-size position. You can see from that full-size entry, we extend higher, we break through the high of the day, I take some profit off the table right here, we consolidate, trade line catches up, pushes the stock through the high of the day again, and I take more profit off the table up here. Back to my trade announcement, so you guys can see took some off at 37.74, took more profit at 38.70, still holding some. Now, this is where the tier trading strategy helps you stay in winning trades longer. Okay? By me tiering out of my position, usually, guys, how I take profits. My first take profit, I sell 25% of my position when I get the first move. Then when I get the follow through, I sell 50% of my position. So now I've got 25% of my position left in case we get real continuation and real extension. Okay? This does two things. A, it locks in profit for me, but it now makes it so much easier for me to hold on to the rest of this position because I'm playing with house money at this point. I just sold the bulk of my position for $2.30 a share gain. Okay, so it's already a really, really nice trade, but I'm still holding some of this position in case we squeeze up to $40. That was the whole game plan pre-market. So let's pan this over. Let's see what happens. Now let's readjust our Fibonacci level because we made new highs. So now we got to go to the new high of the day. There we go. And what do we notice? Okay, we start to notice that this initial high, okay, starts to line up with the 38.2 Fibonacci level, and VWAP is sitting right underneath it. On this entire pullback, you have to think about this, guys. There's my entry. If I did not take any profit off the table here and I'm still holding my full position size, how do you think I feel at this moment? How do you think I feel at this moment? And the answer is not good. You would be very jumpy. Okay, you'd be very anxious to exit the position because you don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. And if there's your entry, you may just bang out of your position right there and you're break even on the trade. Or maybe you see this big red candle, it gets you nervous, and you just exit your position there with a tiny little profit because you're nervous, you don't want to take a loss on the trade. By me taking profits off on this first push, I can hold through this pullback and this pullback with no problem. Total comfort, because no matter what happens, I'm walking away from this trade with a profit. I'm playing with house money at this point. This is how the tier trading strategy keeps you in winning trades longer. Because while other traders are getting scared and they're getting shaken out on these pullbacks, I'm sitting here still long 25% of the position, and we pan this over and boom, we get the afternoon break. And we get the afternoon squeeze. So right here, guys, we end up breaking up through the high of the day, and I go ahead and I take more profit off the table right here. Now, I was looking to add to JMIA coming out of lunchtime. It made this move really early. Okay, it was only about 1:20 when the stock made its move. what I was telling people in chat was if we hold above 36 all throughout lunchtime, I'm going to look to add back this position because now, again, I've only got 25% of my position left. So I'm looking to add back to it to catch an afternoon squeeze. It went a little too early, so I did not add to the position. So on this break through the high of the day, I took a little bit more profit off the table. Okay, back to my trade announcements. Here you guys can see, took more profit off at 39.60 when we broke through at that 130 mark. So there's 39.60. Notice the tier trading method, how every take profit is higher and higher. 37.74, 38.70, 39.60. I'm staying in the winning trade longer. This is how you can increase your profit without increasing your risk. You do not need to buy more size to get bigger winners. Increasing your position size is going to do one thing for sure. It's going to give you bigger losers. Because when you're wrong, now you're wrong on more size than you usually have. There's a way for you to increase your average win, okay, and increase your P&L without getting more size. This is how you do that. That is why I said tier trading helps you do two things. Keep your losses small. You saw that already. Now you're seeing how it keeps you in a winning trade longer. Okay, so now I sold more of my position. Now I'm down to a very small piece of my position. I only have about 15% of the position left at this point. And now we draw a line across that previous high. There was your previous high of the day. We just broke through it with a really nice strong increase in volume. Then you guys can see a nice, calm, orderly, controlled pullback on much lower volume than that initial break. And right here on this breakout point, guys, I added back to the position right there at 39.65. We shot right up through the high of the day, back to my trade announcements, and I took more off at 41. Right there, I took more profit off the table, and then we rolled it over. And once we kind of broke down here and got back down below, I got flat the position at 39.79. So there you guys see a 224 final take profit at 39.79. Go back right here, guys. Okay, is that final take profit. Okay, so I was holding on to still some of the position because at this point I'm thinking we're going to squeeze up to like 43, 44 at that point. So I was still holding on to some of the position, looking for that extension, but I didn't get it. We rolled it over and I got flat there. But then you can see as I pan this over, we continued much higher here. Now we're after the close, we are squeezing higher, all the way up to 47 now. But I'm flat. I got nothing left. But this is still a home run trade, guys. Okay. And the thing to take away from this is a home run trade because of the tier trading strategy. And because of the tier trading strategy, I'm making, I'm one win on the day with two losing trades earlier in the day, but I'm still profitable on the day as far as day trades. I took a loss on a swing trade today. I took a shot, guys, at Tesla put options yesterday. Got squeezed out of them today. So I took a hit on that. But this JMIA trade puts me into the green. Okay? Puts me into the green. And it's all because of the tier trading strategy. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to ask me, well, Mike, what about if you're under PDT? If you're under PDT, and I know a lot of people are, let me say this. I absolutely hate PDT rule. Some people think it's great. I think it's terrible. It's supposed to protect the little guy. I think it does the exact opposite. It puts the little guy at a massive disadvantage because you're not going after trades that you should because you're out of day trades. And what I've noticed with a lot of people is when they're out of day trades, instead of exiting the day trade when they know they should, they end up holding it overnight because they don't want to be locked out because of PDT. The stock gaps down on them the next day and they get crushed. And now they're stuck and they're like, oh, now they just start holding it. They hope it's going to bounce back and it turns into a massive loser. I hate PDT. If you're under PDT, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry. There's a couple things that you can do. One, you can switch to a cash account. Cash account, you're not held to PDT. You're just held to the cash available in your account to trade with. It's usually T+3, trade plus 3 days to settle on that cash. So you won't be held to the PDT rule on a cash account. That's number one. I do know some people that have, accounts at different firms. Like I know one person that's got 15 grand that they trade with. They have like 8 grand in one account, 7 grand in another account. That's one way they try to get around PDT. But other thing that you should know is it's one round trip trade. So let's say you bought 500 shares and you sold 250 and you sold 250. That's one day trade. Okay, it's one round trip. But if you buy 250, buy 250, sell 250, sell 250, that's 2-day trades. Okay. So I know I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to ask me that. Well, Mike, this doesn't work on a small account or a PDT, and the answer is yes, it still does, especially the staying and winning trades longer part. If you're going to tier into your position, it makes it a little bit more difficult because you will be using up 2-day trades. But as far as scaling out of the position and staying and winning trades longer, this can really, really help you. Okay, so I wanted to go through this video with you guys and show you with the tier trading method why it is so important, why it's something that I use every day, why it's something I teach all of our members. It was a huge topic of discussion in chat today. Thank you for a lot of the YouTube community was in chat today. You guys know who you are, and girls, you know who you are. So thank you for coming and joining us. I hope you enjoyed your day with us. But this is really the what I want you guys to take away from today's trading is how you can use the tier trading strategy to keep your losses small and stay in winning trades longer. Okay? I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow. Take care.